Okay, we're back with a casted game of Age Mythology. We're just going to press the settings real quick so I can get my nice dragging thing going on. So Pegasus is playing ladder. He's played a couple of games. This one's happening live right now. So we're going to be watching this one against Bones. And then potentially, depending on how it goes, we might watch the other two games as well that they played. Or if they're going to do some more live matches, then we'll watch these. But Pegasus and Bones, two very high-level players. I think Bones is probably the best player that doesn't play any tournaments. He does train with some of the tournament players, so we know that he is very, very strong. And Pegasus going in with Poseidon. He is a bit of a Greek main. Normally does play Greeks, normally Zeus, but we'll see how his Poseidon goes. So he's not deciding to go in with how he plays Zeus, or at least not from the start. Normally when he plays Zeus, we've actually seen one of his games as like a point of view. Is he gets his very early pickaxe, gets his very early hand axe, and goes for that kind of vibe and kind of very eco heavy. Whereas this game, we see him going for a storehouse here, and then not actually going any on the wood. Sometimes, I know when it was 15 seconds rather than 18 seconds villagers, we would see players move over to the wood line with one of their very early food gatherers. So you get your 4 to start with, you send 3 to food, 1 over to the wood, drop a storehouse down, and everything's nice. But I believe with the 18 seconds, you don't have to do that because you can easily advance before 15 out of 15 population. I think it's 14 out of 15. Then you can get your Theseus out and everything's very, very happy. So we're going to see what happens. Is Mr. still playing AOM? He's not at the moment. No, he will be coming back. He has said so, but it's farming season, so he is off. He is not playing. And then over the other side, we haven't really touched on Bones. He's playing Shenong, probably I don't know, one of the most OP gods there is right now. If you play him that way, and that is because the Yatsas are so ridiculously broken. So we're going to be seeing a temple coming up, and it wouldn't surprise me if there's some gentleman's agreement with the top level players to just not go through Shio, even though the only thing is you want to go through him because that upgrade for the halberdiers against Poseidon is just absolutely broken. What it does is it snares the enemy horses so much that you basically, it's just crazy. You just kill them straight up. They can't run away, they can't use their speed. Oh, do you see him coming through? So maybe we will just see the full Yatsa abuse, or maybe we won't. And both players scouting around. We haven't really touched on relics. Looks like the Pioneer for Bones here does want to get this relic. This relic is heroes. As they do more damage, as they lose HP, they do more damage, which is interesting. Kind of a weird one. Don't know how much value you really get from it. This one is human heroes take less damage from pierce attacks. Looks like the Theseus is going to grab that guy. Improves hero speed is definitely nice for Atalanta, makes her even faster. So that could be a nice one to grab. Also, your slower ones gets them up a little bit. Counter cavalry is good. This is definitely something that Bones wants if he can get it. I'm not sure if he spotted that one yet. But the early advance time for Pegasus, what we kind of expected, and Atalanta coming through. Is there a stable coming up? I think I am on his perspective. No stable coming up yet. So potentially into some kind of second town center later on, but that isn't kind of how it goes with the villager split. So we'll have to see what he goes for. And the Centaur having a stroll across. We'll look to get some damage done. The Yatsas do a lot of damage to him though, because the teleport basically always hits, and the military camp is coming up, which will be very nice to get those halberdiers out. I believe that was the free Yatsa. I don't think Bones has built any yet, no, because he's going for that extra Quafu. So he's going for the more eco-focused thing, and the Centaur's just going to take a lot of damage. But Atalanta is here to defend. She chunks these down pretty quickly, gets a whack on both. Centaur does have a lot of pop shot as well, but the Pioneer does scare the Centaur away. Pioneer doesn't do that much damage though. She does have 11 times. Maybe it's just against normal units that he doesn't really do anything. Like Atalanta will be able to beat so many of these Pioneers up if he really wants to. And the Halberdiers are going to be the choice for Pegasus. I was going to say he hasn't committed yet, but he has built one stable. No barracks, no archery range yet. And then for Bones' side, I believe he just has the military barracks. No, none of those archery ranges. Or machine workshops, whatever you call them there. But Yatsas are going to come out, and I assume the upgrade will be there to follow. So just one extra Quafu to just kind of get the ball rolling on that eco. And has he got some of his early eco upgrades? No, he has a farming upgrade, which does make sense because you want to build some Shenong farms. So I was about to question it, but it's Shenong. He's a different beast to everyone else. I think that sounded like a villager died over there, unless he was just getting a little bit loud, just getting attacked. But it does take one villager down anyway, and Atalanta runs away. And with this extra speed, should be absolutely zooming. If we go to the perspective of Pegasus, has he spotted that? No, because it's just one of those things, you just think the wall's going to go all the way to the side. And if we go for Bones, he also, I mean, he hasn't really scouted that one very much at all. So both of them are not aware that this relic's here, and it'll probably sit there for the remainder of the game, to be honest. And Son of Loon coming in, which makes the Yatsas even more OP, and the Centaur is going to lose his life. But Pegasus isn't really committing to the Centaurs. It did a nice early game job. It was scouting the town centers, make sure nothing really happened, and getting a little bit of damage done also. And Pegasus goes, well, if nothing else is going to happen, then I'm going to grab my town center. And it has the 2 rhino variant. This map, I think it's Giza. Yeah, this can spawn 1 or 2 rhinos. So if you get 2 rhinos, it just makes your town centers slightly better, 650 food better, and a bit of nice micro there to minimize the villagers going down. So slowing it down is Pegasus. Doesn't want to really go into these hippies, or not many of them. Also against the Yatsas, I mean, they can just snipe them down really, really quickly. I think even just trying to get Hunt out here is just going to be so tough. You've got to sit your Atalanta back, and the Yatsas, I believe 2 of them can one-shot a villager if they've got both their upgrades in, which they don't yet, but that will obviously be coming at some point. And they will be able to snipe them underneath the town center if Pegasus isn't quick enough, and he was just about to garrison that one in and still, unfortunately, loses his life there. And while this is happening, Bones is going to get his second town center, but it's very, very equal. So it's a slightly later town center, but then Bones managed to snipe a villager. I think that we had a villager sniped over here for Pegasus. So very, very, very equal early game. And signal fires, something that you don't see. It's a random ball. Something that you don't see very often normally. Yeah, I assumed that was that was a misclick. But it does make sense. You want all the time to react to these Yatsas coming in because they're so quick, and the villagers will be able to pull off in time thanks to that extra line of sight. We can look from the perspective of the sentry towers there. Yeah, you can just see so much further. And then if Atalanta gets onto one of these guys, they should be able to run away, but the halberdiers are going to scare the Atalanta off. Pegasus hasn't really committed to getting many units though. He just has his heroes. He's built a stable, but nothing from it, and then nothing else coming. And just getting up to the 3rd age just makes sense, because the centaurs don't counter these, especially now they do less damage to myth units. They just take too much also. So just getting up to the next stage, getting your 3rd hero in is going to be very, very nice. And they do have 3 times multiplier as well, so it's just ridiculous. Snipe's going to do way too much. The food source is still going on over here, so it's still a decent town center, and the town center will be able to do a lot of damage. We do see the Yatsas coming in. Pegasus' reaction time is more than enough to get away there. It's a bit of a misclick on the zebra, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. Some nice value out of minimal units coming through from the Poseidon here. And the villager just gets away from those hyenas. Yeah, those hyenas do a lot of damage now. So Atalanta's trading some HP. Just kind of distracting these units so they can't really do anything. And then back into the town center. Oof. Town center does a lot. The 2 town centers does make sense here, especially with these nice walls coming up, because you've got a nice gold mine back here. And this one, again, this one's kind of out in the open, though. If there are some... And then we do see the sentry tower down. I mean, if you do have some hippias around here and there aren't any halberdiers, there's a long way to move back from your gold mine here. So the sentry tower coming up absolutely makes sense. And Nubar on the way, or pre-queued, actually. Not actually close, but will eventually come through for our player in yellow. And there's just so many of these Yatsas. But Atalanta does manage to snipe one. And this is kind of the deal of playing against Shenong now. He's just so annoying, to be honest. I have an account where I play Random God, so it's a little bit lower elo than my main one. And yeah, if you ever come up against a Shenong, even like the lower elos, I mean, I don't know, like 1400 players, They just absolutely spam these Yahtzees out, and it's so annoying. But if you can survive, then you'll be fine. But but yeah, I think it's plaguing the ladder currently, unfortunately. But I know this pup update does have some decent nerfs to these guys. I haven't actually tried it out, but I believe that should be addressed. But Pegasus is showing that signal fires is an option and does manage to run away. The issue is that they don't miss. This is, if you're ever wondering why these are so OP compared to Anubites, is if you run in with an Anubite and the villager is actually running away, then there's a chance to miss unless you manually target where they're going to go and you predict where they're going. If you were to right click onto a moving villager, then that special damage doesn't actually come in, whereas these guys have some sort of teleport where they just go right onto you, and that's really the problem with it. But Fortress coming up for Pegasus. He's in a really good spot this side. Bones is also absolutely fine. I mean, he's the one putting the pressure on, so he doesn't have to really worry about his defensive qualities here. So both players pretty even. Rusho coming through, and I believe Bones is he getting more Quafus out, or is it literally just everything he's just spent on these? I mean, I think he's lost a few, so he probably had about 7 of them. So it's kind of the deal with the Yahtzees. And what is this upgrade? Shenong Ripens Peach, getting hero and myth unit HP up. Oof. These guys being even more tanky, but the Pegasus, poor Pegasus, running around, having a look, seeing what's happening. Fortress coming up over here, so this is going to be very difficult to push into. And then Pegasus is going to need a big army to come out to then get a gold mine later on. Hippolyta also with a 7.5 multiplier, absolutely fine. And this is what I was going to say. I assume what the Poseidon goes for here is Mythic Age. He wants his Mythic Age techs. He wants to get his iron armory upgrades, because that's what Hephaestus brings you. Is his he gets some very cheap armory upgrades that come in so fast. And if you haven't built any units, then you just get ultimate value from this. But also you get your Polyphemus, which can whack down his hammer and kill all of these Yahtzees. So it's normally the play if you're going up against myth units. So what Bones needs to do is basically just fully commit now to making Pegasus build some units out, so he can't just get to the Mythic Age for free. But the fortresses are gonna be a little bit of tough work. Do these have crush damage on? The Tau Tui guys, they do have some crush damage. The Yahtzees don't, but the Yahtzees are just going to come in and snipe this Hydra really quickly. Nice play from these fire archers just to turn around to try and get the heroes down while the myth units take down the fortress. But the double fortress is doing a lot of damage. The Baihu, the free Baihu, is also coming in. The Yahtzees kind of coming in to distract, which does make sense. But yeah, the fortresses, they're just way too strong. The Dao Swordsmen also don't have the divine damage upgrade. I think if you were to do that play again, but have a handful more Dao Swordsmen with their divine damage, I think, yeah, it's so much easier to take down these fortresses. Yeah, there was no boiling oil, but they don't really need it because this one was damaging something that was just not underneath, and then this one's doing the damage, so still getting full damage worth. And Hephaestus is on the way. So Bones has about 2 minutes to really do, I mean, a little bit more, because you're going to need some time to get the value out of Hephaestus. If you went Artemis, then you kind of get that instant value where you drop down the Earthquake and it's more like the kind of tempo play. Whereas you need probably 2 minutes on top of Hephaestus to really get that benefit there. If we go for the perspective of Pegasus, he also only has 1 armory. If you're going this guy, you need 3 armories, and he also doesn't have the favor to actually get that upgrade that we're talking about. And I'm just completely blanking on what it's called, but we're going to find out in a minute, because it is going to come through for his armory. Actually, we are just going to click on it, because otherwise it's not going to pop up, is it? It is called Forge of Olympus. Of course it is. Needs more armories, and then what's kind of built, he literally still has just the 1 stable. This is just full eco and tech, no military at all. Just getting his heroes out. Doesn't even have his Theseus either. I mean, he can build out Theseus in like 5 seconds. It's no issue, but still. And Bones is, I mean, he's going Mythic Age also. I think he's realized that he doesn't really have the pushing power. What he could do is just full send, but I know it's these top players, they don't really like the full sending. They like to sit back and kind of not roll the dice, as it were. Pegasus limit testing. Yeah, I think this is what it is. What can he get away with? And I think a full send Dao Swordsman with divine damage could take this out. We've seen Kavoth do it. I think there was a Kavoth versus Soup game that I watched where Soup denied the second town center early for Kavoth, and then he managed to get a full pop of one town center with Dao Swordsman and Myth units and just full send. And I think he still lost the game, but he did so much damage. But yeah, triple. Fortresses everywhere. It's funny because I see Pegasus as a player with really good micro, but how he plays now is he just doesn't use it at all. He just goes, yep, I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to get my 4 fortresses, and he's going to get Hetyroi out. Hetyroi, and he does have his 2 armories. That's also decent. So this is going to be pretty scary. I think I heard somewhere that Hetyroi have changed in like maybe 2 or 3 patches ago, and I just completely missed it. So I don't know how good they are now, but they still do have that AoE damage, so they must still be a little bit similar. And then Huang Di coming through for Bones. I mean, Huang Di is very, very strong, but the kind of Nidhogg-esque unit isn't going to get too much damage done because the gold mines have double fortress on them. There's double fortress here. The Yacht's just trying to get good damage done. And then the Plenty Vault is getting some gold in. The issue is where is Pegasus going to go for his next gold mine? Bones has the whole map. He can do whatever he wants with it. He can start walling off. I mean, it's very difficult to wall off Giza. But potentially this is going to be Pegasus' next gold mine, especially since Bones is grabbing this town center, which I do like that play to defend this one. But with the Plenty Vault, I mean, he could also get a market down here, and it's not the worst trade, to be honest, considering he's only got an extra town center. It's just kind of out in the open. But 4 units coming out. Do we have full iron yet? I've not really been looking at the side. Full iron on the way, and it's going to be very difficult for Bones, I feel. But he is getting his champion infantry. He's getting this upgrade. Villager, just everything villager wise gets more damage. And the Dao Swordsman in, and a nice animation cancel of the Yinglong. We're seeing all of the god powers getting dropped. Lightning weapons, Fey Beasts, Bronze, and then forces out the ceasefire also. So I don't really know who comes out on top. Every god power got used. I mean, lightning weapons was to counter the Bronze, and then the ceasefire counters the lightning weapons, but you still, I don't know. Maybe lightning weapons is just that good that it's better than Bronze. I find that kind of wild, but it is pretty busted. These guys have so much HP. All the upgrades, Thracian Horses, Spirited Charge, Lord of Horses, even just a random relic. Oh, and he also has the Hephaestus upgrade, Olympian weapons, extra 20%. What's that? +1. Oh, bonus damage to myth units. Let's see them getting some damage done. Ballet coming up on the front, and the Hetyroi. Going to have a look at this gold mine, but I mean, it's pretty well defended with the Ballet. Ballet, I mean, slightly out of position for the Kwafu to go in. Not out of position, but like slightly far away, but it was mainly to get the radius on it there. But I mean, they should be fine. Do see a bit of an engagement going on over here with the Hetyroi doing some good damage. The Yinglong is going to come over, try and get something done. He's kind of there to slow everyone down, but a micro back and forth, just so he doesn't lose too much HP to the Hippolyta, but she hasn't been tasked back on it. And it looks like Bones is winning this fight. I mean, the Halberdier with their super upgrade, that Master of Weaponry upgrade, is ridiculous. Polyphemus, he is good against those myth units, but he does go down eventually. And maybe there just wasn't enough Hippaspis out. Also, I mean, there's slightly less population for Pegasus. All of Bones' units are in one spot, and even just these 6 here would have done something nicely. Does manage to push Pegasus off of the gold mine as well. So Bones coming out on top there, even though he doesn't have anywhere close to the amount of armory upgrades that Pegasus has. Just sheer numbers is what it was. Horses are going to run back. And third town center secured. So if both players are going to have their... actually, I think it looks like... Is Pegasus missing a house? Because he doesn't have this fortified town centers, but he's on less population. Oof. That's what you want to do with the Yinglongs. Oof. That's why you need those fortresses up for the gatherers to sit inside. Otherwise, they're they get absolutely cooked. Now we see the Dao Swordsman, at least one of the upgrades. What's this one? That's the Huangdi upgrade. Bit of lifesteal, bit of damage. So this is Super Dao Swordsman. They still don't have the divine damage, though. I feel like that's the best upgrade. Maybe that's the non-China player in me, just not really knowing. Not really knowing the best one. Polyphemus here, just to scare off the peasant. Just use his special just on one guy. Oh yeah, absolutely slaps him. She tried. Even just him versus wall should be good. Fortress coming up, and then that will be a lot easier to defend against the Yinglong. Did the Yinglong die, or is it just run away somewhere? He is still here. And that's going to be Pegasus running away. Full Hypaspis Hetyroi. There are 3 heroes in, so they're all going to try and snipe down that Yinglong. It's just all the upgrades from the Bones units. I mean, I assume all that red light is paying dividends, and it absolutely is. And Bones does manage to take that one. So Pegasus sat back for the whole time, but it just looks like his army does not beat Super Dao Swordsman, Halberdier with the dumb upgrade, and Yinglong lightning weapons, lightning attacks. There you go. Okay, game 2, Bones Pegasus. I mean, this isn't the order. This was the first one that they played on the ladder. But it's Isis first Noir, so we have Pegasus as the Isis. So we say he's a bit of a Greek main, or at least that's what I know him as. But he is going in with the Isis. He's doing the kind of classic Isis strat where you just get the 8 wood, then you move over to build the mining camp. And this guy drops the wood straight into the mining camp. So it's a very nice early game strat. I did watch Soup's stream the other day. I was kind of lurking, as I do while I'm doing the washing up. And I saw what he did is he had a labourer this side where he put down the granary, he put one villager onto the straggler tree, and he put one villager on the monument to the villagers, and then he let the wood villager finish off the granary to then put the wood inside. And I found that really interesting, and it's something that I might try as I'm a bit of an Isis main myself. And yeah, he's also... Pegasus is putting the pharaoh on the monument to the villagers. I would only suggest this as Isis, to be honest. I mean, obviously, Ra does his thing where he has the monument empower everything. But as Isis, you get such a big bonus of actually putting your pharaoh on it. And then you just need to make sure to move him back over before these villagers get in. And if you force drop, it's a lot easier. I definitely recommend this because then you get your 8 favor so much quicker to get your Flood of the Nile upgrade. So definitely like that. And then Bone side, he is going in with China again, but this one is Noir this time, so a bit of a different beast. But very similar early game. The kind of difference with the Noir over the other ones is that her build order is so easy. Everything to food. Your Kwafu does his standard bit of wood, bit of gold to get his temple up, and then you get your Kwafu chieftain, your hero Kwafu. It's like. But if I was to recommend a Chinese god to play just on sheer easiness of early game build order, it would be Noir. And I think she's pretty good also, so this one will be coming through. And then he's got the choice of whether he wants to play defensive and go through how-to with her earth wall and whatever, or if he wants to be a bit more on the aggressive and go Genu the other way and get your flamey boys out. But the map here is not going to show me, but I believe it is not Air, it is the other one. It's Valley of the Kings. If players want to go for town centers, this isn't the worst town center. It does have a lot of boars on it, and it's very, very close 2 bones. He can also just drop that earth wall down. These could probably, if he drops an earth wall around this, these could easily be grabbed. So actually there's so much food on this second town center. So this isn't bad at all. If we go over to Pegasus, if he wants a second town center, he does have the 3 elephants. I mean, he could only drag them kind of about here maybe. And he doesn't have that earth wall to protect him, but it's still very, very nice to put those elephants in there. If they wanted to go for middle town centers, I mean, it cuts off some of the map, but I don't think the normally middle town centers give you a bit more, but I believe the back ones seem a little bit better this time. Relic-wise, what do we got? Small trickle of gold. We like that one. This one, better buildings. So if Pegasus plays like he did in the first game, he wants this relic. I need to do it like this. Buildings are more resistant to siege weapons. That's going to be very nice for either player. And cavalry hit points plus 10%. Oof, that one's pretty brutal. Pegasus wants that if he's going into Migdal units, because everything counts as a cavalry unit for the Egyptians. So just interesting fun fact of the day. And gods of choice are Anubis for Pegasus and Janu for Bones. So Bones could potentially put on a bit of aggro there. And then Monument to the Soldiers coming up. Pegasus moving over 9 villages to the gold mine probably means that he wants to get a second town center up. And Bones, haven't really seen his split, but it looks like he is going for a town center. We can see by the resources that he has. He's just sending the one hero Kwafu over with his clay peasants to get this up even quicker. So it's going to be up in 40 seconds, and then also have the boars here nicely. The Chillin's probably going to go forward. Yeah, probably just deny the vision. Isn't a bad thing. The priest has spent his archaic age solely trying to get these obelisks up, and then the Chillin is just going to get rid of them, undoing his poor hard work. But that is what's going to happen. Priest coming over just to make sure there's no chilling here. Chillin. But we do see him over here, so I imagine that is what's going on. Anubites are actually the choice, and then straight into the town center. So did he get any other upgrades? So he has got the wood very nicely for Necropolis, which gets you the extra favor. So definitely like that play. Something that a lot of these Egyptian players seem to miss. I watched one the other day where one of the players didn't get any wood. And if you go Anubis, you just need the tiniest amount. Literally just have 1 villager on it, and it's absolutely fine. You get all the upgrades that you need. And a Anubite upgrade is coming in also. And I'm just trying to put some pressure onto this forward gold mine. Nice bit of reaction from Bones straight away. Anubite's just causing a bit of trouble. If the hero Kwafu comes over, then these Anubites get slapped in the face and they go down very, very quickly. But nice manual jump to jump over the rock. But means that they won't get too much damage done to these guys. Looks like this guy doesn't have much range. He's only got 6 range. And nice bit of jukage. No, he did actually get hit. That's why he's so low HP. Unless that was just a tower that did that much. And I wasn't paying attention to the to the health bar there. And then from Pegasus' side, he doesn't see the town center, and Bones does see the town center. So Bones knows what he's playing against. Pegasus doesn't yet, but I'm assuming he's going to go see this town center very, very quickly. Doesn't have the jump, but we'll be able to see that the peasants are there, and that is it. There's some low HP ones here that he can take out. Those are just the clay ones. Don't worry about those. They were meant to die. And if the Anubites survive, they can go back and get healed up by a priest. I assume there's a priest. Yeah, there's a priest here, so he can absolutely... One of the relics he did manage to get, Pegasus, is the Pegasus relic. So very, very nice. Pegasus TC is so much worse. Yeah, it just straight up is. I mean, it's got 5 less boars on it. But apart from that, it's basically the same. So yeah, 5 less boars and nothing else around it. So Bones Town Center is definitely better. Fortunately, it does kind of misstep on that one. Would probably want the silo a little bit further out, but oh well. It's one of those small little things that can be frustrating, but maybe doesn't make too much difference. Bones is just going to have a little look. He's getting double chilling out, so he has decided to get one more out, and it is a good idea just to run them round with one of your units. You get the healing from both of them, and whatever unit it is gets healed up very, very nicely. But Sobek Hotep does actually take a decent amount of damage from these. Even though they're myth units, they do a lot of damage to these pharaohs. 0.25 multiplier as well. But Bones is here pretty much purely to stop this gold mine. There are some other gold mine options, but the villagers coming out of here, once these elephants are finished, they're going to want something to do. And this gold mine is definitely the choice. Whereas Bones villagers are going to be busy for... I mean, they're going to be busy for the next 5 minutes at least getting all of this. But I believe Pegasus looks like he's going up to the heroic age. He's not built a barracks. The wrong guy. Yeah, he hasn't built a barracks. It looks like he's getting a decent amount of resources in. I think this has slowed down his advance time slightly because he wanted to go grab the gold from this side. Could have kind of switched up the units to put them back in the main base. And then the Dow Swordsman coming in for Bones. Wants a bit of early aggression. The villagers are trying to turn around and kind of hit. And they're actually going to get pushed off this. Oof. And the burn doesn't manage to kill any, but does so much damage to all of those. Luckily, there's a pharaoh, there's a priest. So, absolutely fine. And the chillin'. Going to scare off these units. And this is... Does Pegasus not have an armory? He does. I think he just got a bit distracted by that. So he's just clicking up slightly later. But still, it was because he wanted this gold over here. And it just kind of messed up his macro to go up slightly later. But I believe Bones, it looks like he's still building units. It looks like he just wants to full send classical age. Just have a decent amount left in the bank, actually. So not fully committing. Nubite's trying to do a bit of a raid. I wonder who wins between a Nubite and Chillin. What is it? 280. Very, very similar. These have way less hack armor, though. So a Nubites must win this fight. Unless the special does like a ridiculous amount of damage. But in a group, it's probably going to be the Healy boys, though, right? Yeah. Does manage to run away. Are they the same speed? No, the Chillin are actually faster. So it does need to watch out for that. Sobek is on the way, though. And we'll be able to drop a Migdal stronghold down, probably over this way. Yeah, just basically just switch the playing field completely. Does drop a prosperity a little bit late. I don't know whether I like that. I think I'd probably prefer to just... all of these villagers drop a Migdal stronghold with the pharaoh as quickly as possible, and then spend the time actually getting this prosperity in with the shaft mine. But it is each their own. What you can do here is do this, and then when this is finished, you can drop down 2 or 3 Migdals if you really want to. The Chillin are in, and they're going to try and get some good damage on all of these villagers. And if he stepped slightly closer, could have done more damage, but didn't want to risk the priest doing too much to him. But still... I mean, still managed to get 5. Was that 5 units still? So 5 villagers down. That's quite a big difference, actually, in the Bones villagers to Pegasus. Pegasus ones. Balanced? Yeah, I'd say. I'd say so. We haven't seen the rate that these guys heal up yet. Look at that. It's crazy. Bones still just fully committed to going for this one here. And with this amount of units, should be able to take down the town center. I don't think these do have crush damage, but still, there's nothing really around to defend. There is one Petsuchos, which will do a lot of damage. Does he have his upgrade already? No. Can he just start with divine damage? That's pretty wild. But should be able to take those down. There's a couple of pioneers if he really wants to kind of scare him off, and that is exactly what he's doing, just to make sure not to lose too much. But the town center will go down. And 1 Migdal stronghold up. And then Thoth. So, Pegasus playing very similar to how he played in the other game. Just straight up. Wanting fast mythics off for 2 town centers. Not building any units. He's building a handful, though. He's building some chariots. I mean, he is clicked up to the next stage. So, after he clicked up is when he starts building his units out. Which is quite funny. And we see Bones still on these elephants. Finally finished on these ones. Has all his elephants left over. And Bones does have a clear place to attack, though. I mean, he just needs to attack this side now. He's managed to push Pegasus off this way. But Bones has committed to quite a lot of units. Similar to the first game, actually. I think both these games have been pretty similar, where Bones has built way more units. Vanish Chillin attack. Okay, I like it. How much damage can he do? There is a wall up here, so yeah, but there's a little gap in the wall. Hopefully Bones notices this one. I think this is going to be an absolutely huge attack. Is he just going to fully commit to it? Needs to get really, really close and just go fire breath. Manages to take down 5. Probably could have got a bit more there, but still manages to get out with all his units. Yeah, cheeky little Banish play. I mean, look at the eco difference now. And then this guy, yeah, he can get healed up so quick. Look at his HP go up. Yeah, these boys are broken. Third town center though for Noir, and then Ballet on the back, double gold mine going to be secured really nicely. So what does Pegasus do here? He's down 1 town center, so the eco-wise is going to be in Bone's favor. Oh, he's down 2 town centers now. So what can Pegasus do? I mean, he's going to have to either get some town centers himself, but he'll still be behind, or he just needs to get some raids off, which is what he's trying to do with these camels, but can he actually sneak around there? Looks like he's trying to. No, the wall's nicely placed. But there aren't any units over here, and Bone's units, wherever they are very slow. So the camels can run around, do some decent damage to the eco. The chillin' party looks like good. One could potentially go down. He's trying to get some damage off. They're so strong. Locust Swarm up against the wall. I think they do have that upgrade. Yes, they do. They had their upgrade to make them a bit tanky. Otherwise, all of these villagers would have gone down, which is pretty brutal. Still, decent Locust. I think the chillin' are getting a bit too angsty against these heroes. Where do we see that go down? Ah, Plague of Serpents to defend. Okay. So normally we see that aggressively used. I don't know. This force is just scary, isn't it? What does that upgrade do? I think it's more healing, isn't it? 50% more healing. Maybe that's what makes these guys busted. But if Pegasus gets a decent amount of heroes out, or even just the Petsuchos, he should be able to deal with them pretty nicely. I think Petsuchos aren't a bad idea. It's like you're also getting a Phoenix out by the look of it. Also a Meteor to come down from Pegasus whenever he really wants to. But yeah, double Ballet this side for Bones is going to be very hard to push into that side. So Pegasus, I mean, this is the only way he can really push. He wants this side of the map as well. He wants his gold mines. He wants this gold mine. And kind of a whiff on the camera there. But the chillin', they're all going to survive. This is kind of the... We've seen this. How much damage of these guys tanked. If we had the new patch where you can see the amount of stuff that... maybe it's not the amount of damage they've tanked. It's the amount of damage they do. But still, be interesting to see how much damage these guys have actually taken with their 348 HP. And Gong Gong on the way. So pushing these Gong Gong guys back in with the Great Flood, chillin' special, could be pretty scary. Pegasus deciding to attack a different way. I mean, it does make sense. The gold mines are down here. There's not much to really do apart from push him off the farms that side. Nice little Taowu special. Does he have it? He does have that on auto, but still used it pretty well. Ballet coming up here, but it might be a little bit too late. Camels are coming. Yeah, it's going to take 45 seconds to get this up, and these are quite low HP. So camels are going to get decent value. I mean, you can turn around and hit, but they're going to take a lot of damage against these guys. Yeah, you just got to run away. Definitely didn't like just sitting there and trying to get the Ballet up. So nice little counter raid, but he's still 30 villagers behind. Pegasus is getting a Migdor stronghold up in the middle. Monument to the Priest coming down so that if he empowers this with his Pharaoh, you can't use the Great Flood. That might be the idea. Or just trying to get it so nothing else. He can also heal up his units if he puts his Pharaoh on this. If he thinks the fight will be in this circle. The circle goes to about here. And the Tiger Cavalry coming out for Bones as well. And this town center hasn't been grabbed either. Pegasus just needs to make something happen. I mean, this is it's a pretty scary army, especially if you're a Noir villager. Just needs to get in there. Catapults in. And the siege down will start. How many units are in here? There's not really enough units to deal with this army, unless there's a load of chillin'. Chillin' should be able to use their special against the catapult, right? One of them completely whiffed and did it behind them, which is a bit weird. Taowu trying to get some good damage as well. Terracotta Riders, so this is it. So this, they can't actually use the Great Flood over on these chariots, which would be pretty OP against these guys. You could probably put it behind them if you can find a spot, but the chariots are actually going to town, taking down even their counters in those Tiger Cavalry. I absolutely love this. But you can't step out of this circle though. The second that you step to here, the Great Flood comes in, the chariots come, and they all die, basically. But the chilling specials against the catapults do decent damage. You just got to run away again though. You cannot take this fight underneath the Mythical Stronghold. Everything's getting healed up from the Monument to the Priests. So even though they're taking big AoE, they do eventually heal up. Actually, it's pretty slow. Does have some priests in the mix though. Tao Wu absolutely sending that chariot archer flying. Oh, we see all the upgrades from Pegasus. Li Jing just showing who's boss, trying to get his stun off. And I believe that's elephant upgrade coming in for Pegasus. Yep, which is why it messes up the UI. No idea why. Qinglong special, absolutely huge. The Tiger Cavalry, I mean, they are getting some good damage done. They're countered nicely by the camels, and you just can't fight the chariots. Chariots just way too strong right now. Needs to get an answer to them. Does get a Great Flood, but dodged by the chariots, and that was kind of whiffed, to be honest. Kind of just needed to keep that one. That was a card that was in the back of his hand that if the chariots ever properly overstepped, then could have got some good damage done, but unfortunately does whiff that one. And then now the Migdal can get empowered again, which is what he wanted anyway, to get those double pump of units out. Just needs a whole load of these Tiger Cavalry. We go over this side. How many Ballet does he have? He has all the Ballet to build as many Tiger Cavalry as he really wants to. Doesn't have any Pierce Armor upgrades though. Maybe just waiting, get your at least bronze Pierce Armor before kind of fighting there. Is taking the 4th town center though. Okay, so Bones is still in the lead if he just sits back. He does have full villages. He can slowly get his upgrades and be absolutely fine. Without the catapults, there's not really any pushing power here. There are two catapults. Tiger Cavalry also coming around this side, trying to get a bit of a raid off potentially. Both sides have a lot of gold mines though. Like they've defended their own sides very nicely. Both sides can get a decent trade. And nice play. Get the machine workshops next to the fortified town center just to get rid of the kind of volume around the outside that can actually be attacked. But the catapults can just go over the top. But and the siege workshop is coming in for Pegasus to siege that one down. And now the hero upgrades coming for Bones. War elephants, they are on their way. And the chillin'. It's so annoying that we can't see how many units each of the players have. So wild. But the meteor is in, and the meteor's going to do decent damage. It's a great tempo play to get those Tiger Cavalry down so they can't attack. And while they're in the air, the chariots can just go to town on them. Does manage to take out the Ballet as well. Chillin' flips up in the air. And Bones does just need to run away again. These chariots, even though Pegasus is kind of far behind on the eco, and he has been for ages, he is slowly catching up as Bones is at full eco. But the chariots they've done so much damage right now. It's actually pretty ridiculous. And nice wait of this forest protection, waiting for the meteor to come down so that the meteor can't just instantly take it out. And that again forces the chariots back. But the elephants are pretty scary. Nuar doesn't have the Shio choice where the halberdiers could slow these war elephants down even more and do some really good damage to them. But Pegasus does just decide that he is too far behind for the 4 town centers to 2. But he got a lot of damage done. He did bait out that Great Flood really, really nicely, but in the end of the day, he was just a little bit too far behind. And GG on that one. Okay, game 3. I mean, I've kind of done these in a weird order, but we're going to call this one game 3. We've got Bones, Pegasus on the Isis again, and now this time Bones going in with the Hades on the map Oasis. So typically a pretty defensive map. And also we're seeing some bringing in of these zebras. Kind of the classic play when you're playing as Hades, trying to get that Vault of Erebus straight away. And that's what we see the players do very, very, very often. This map, so we've kind of spawned with the middle row here. Town center wise, I mean the edge ones are kind of in the middle of nowhere. They are very close to the starting base, but I mean it just doesn't really give you anything. I wouldn't expect to see players go for these, but then again, sometimes you just want your second town center and you want it as soon as possible, and players do seem to like to go for these ones. So it kind of depends what they're going to go for here. Let's see if any relics are going to really make a difference. We've got Armor of Achilles. So we have increases hack armor of infantry. Maybe not something that we might see. Scales of Cartoplopos, which is pierce armor, extra pierce armor for your myth units. Dwarven Horseshoes, only 5% speed now. Used to be 10, but still 5% speed on your cavalry units, especially as we said for the last game, for the ISIS player, this is everything that comes out of your Migdal stronghold. So it's actually pretty good. Although 5% speed on Elephant probably doesn't really do anything. And the Ula's Bow, extra ranged attack from your archers. Now this one is what both players are probably going to be after. So we see Pegasus has seen this one. We'll see if Bones has also seen this one. He hasn't seen it yet, but I imagine if these are players that like to go for relics, this one's pretty good. Extra range on your chariot archers. We see how good it is going through Sekhmet. And then Hades, I mean, he wants his archers, and he wants them now, especially how good Peltasts are against the chariot archers. If they get an extra range as well, that's going to be very nice. And we see the temple coming up for Pegasus, going for that standard kind of pickaxe build. And then from Bones, he is pre-queuing his Vault of Erebus about 40 wood away from that one. And that is what it goes up to, 23 range. That's pretty ridiculous. If that is what it is. A Hades Peltast with that upgrade. Cavalry speed, taking that away. Could also opt to go in for Hippias himself. We don't normally see Hades go in for those, but I mean, this is quite a big map if you want to build a handful to kind of go in and do some raiding. The issue is that Crenellations got buffed with the Crenellations towers, so they do extra damage to those Hippias, and the arrows don't miss, so it can feel bad. But I think Bones is definitely going to be grabbing this one. Definitely not 23. Okay. It did sound a bit ridiculous. It was like 21, is it? Like 20? Something like that. And yeah, Ula's Bow. Obelisk getting picked up or getting slotted around. Anubis, the god of choice for Pegasus. It's what he went for in the other game. Maybe valuing the Necropolis upgrade, maybe valuing the Anubites, just getting some good damage done. They are some really good raiders, especially in these patches. They do need to worry about the Achilles, one issue, but I mean, you can kind of jump away from that guy and kite him pretty well. Against Poseidon, it's a bit more of an issue where you have Atalanta that's just so damn quick that you do have to worry about that one. And then Athena coming through for Bones as the Hades, so not going for any Cyclops underworld JA situations, just going for the kind of the standard Athena play. And then how we see the villagers separation here, more than likely second town centers coming up. The middle town centers, I mean, they do secure something decent behind, somewhat, with a little bit of a cheeky wall, could be very, very nice. And actually, Bones grabbing every single relic. Does get that myth unit pierce armor one as well. Doesn't really matter against the heroes for the Egyptians. That is the only thing. Even though they're ranged, they do those divine damage, so it doesn't really matter. And Pegasus is going to get this very nice town center here. As we said, it's much nicer. And then I believe Bones has spotted that one with his goat, or just assuming that maybe is where he's going, and then it's going to come over here to deal with this one. Pegasus getting some nice damage on that Minotaur, does run away as soon as he sees the Ajax. Ajax, he is a slow boy, but he really does pack a punch. And Serpents, again, use defensively. You could use it over here to just kind of delay the town center, but I mean, there is double hero here, there's Minotaur here, so there's not really too much you can do. Maybe if there was just the Ajax and the Minotaur, maybe you could kind of make it work, especially with your Anubites. You could cause a bit of a bit of hassle for the enemy, but when the Achilles is out, we do see the Hippias as well. I do like a Hades Hippias. So they're at 5.8 speed with this upgrade, so pretty nice. Anybody's trying to get some value here. Love the wooden wall. And villagers as close to the sentry tower as you can really get. So this is a really nice defensive spot, especially as the Anubites are probably going to come in. Guardian Anubites in. And does jump. And unfortunately, one's going to get stuck in the wall. Happens way too often. Does manage to get a villager kill, but this guy is going to have to chill for a while. Luckily, there's no Achilles here. I don't know why this happens. It's just... yeah. But it does. Heroes are going to come in to try and push the villagers off of the giraffes, but we do see a very nice serpent that was placed down earlier, and that is exactly why they're there, to disrupt any minimal units coming in to really do anything. Is that a barracks coming up? Yeah, barracks to come up to potentially he's seen the Hippias now, or just it could just be a safety barracks, one that's just there next to your pharaoh and can spam out some spearmen whenever he really needs to. If you've got your pharaoh on it, you can see how quickly they actually come out, and he is going to spam out those spearmen. Guardian Anubites, they are getting some decent value here. There's no heroes around because we saw the heroes down here. And then this side, Bones also has a very similar situation. Has his 3 giraffes, has his gold mine. So actually both town centers are very, very similar. This side, Anubites still getting some good value, managing to take down another villager. Should be able to get that one. Watchtowers up. Not committing the sentinels too early. I kind of do like that, because if you do get your watchtowers down instead, then you have the option to use sentinels on your second town center here, whereas there's nothing really to defend that. So I assume that's the reason for that one. The Minotaur will eventually go down. Nice bit of micro. Spearmen do see the Achilles. I mean, the Achilles, I assume he could probably take down 2. But still, you're going to lose quite a lot of HP, so he's going to decide to run away from that one. Necropolis also coming through. And I assume we're going to see Heroic Age. We do see Sobek is pre-queued, and the resources are almost there. And I heard an armory go up from Bones' perspective. So potentially he's looking to go Heroic Age as well. Ajax, I completely missed that one, but Ajax does manage to take down one of these Anubites. And this one should be able to run away, especially with his jump. But the Ice is not overcommitting to building these Anubites, potentially saving this favor for some Petsuchos. I know they are pretty busted with the amount of divine damage they do, and it's very, very difficult for the Greek heroes to get on them. Getting up to the 3rd age means you do get your Chiron out that is okay against them, but still Chiron, he doesn't do too much damage to them, especially if there's like 5 or 6 of these Petsuchos, maybe 4 or 5 doing divine damage to him. They do win that fight, so it's pretty scary. But Aphrodite is going to be pre-queued, and the kind of classic Isis play right here, which is as you're going up to the 3rd age, prosperity is coming through, and Bones will pretty much know that the Heroic Age is being clicked up from the Isis. It's just what players have always done, and it means that you have so much gold to spam out whatever you want. You can spam out your Migdals, you can spam out your Petsuchos, you can spam out your priests, whatever you really want to. And yeah, because he's left with 400 there. So I assume Migdal Stronghold somewhere around this situation. Could go for a double one if he wants to be really defensive. The Serpents are doing a good job. And considering Pegasus has gone for fast mythics twice in a row, I'm going to guess that there's going to be a fast mythic coming. But maybe not. There is two Petsuchos coming. So maybe not. Pre-queued Afro is not in yet. But Hoplite upgrades are the choice for Bones. So didn't really commit too heavy on those stables. Just wanted to I think it might have even just been one horse to just run around, see what's going on, get pressure on where he could. But the Serpents put a stop to that. So then actually Pegasus changing his mind from the other games and going for a Heroic Age full push, full send Crocodilopolis, something like that. the extra upgrade. I think Crocodopolus sounds better, but Crocodiliopolis, whatever it is. Oh dear. There's dyslexia coming into play. It says something like that. Rock. Just having a scout. Yeah, the divine damage is actually ridiculous. I kind of want to see how much damage they do to some of these heroes, which I'm sure we will see. Did Pegasus go for his upgrade again? Hasn't got signal fires this time. Did get it on the last one against the Yatsas, probably just to see if they were coming in. But it also can be an interesting choice when you get these obelisks up forward. I mean, it is 150 gold, which is like almost a chariot archer. Camel riders. Notices there's no wall. Does force out the curse on that, which is actually pretty good value. I don't know the exact amount of resources that curse works for, but I'm sure he could have got more kills than that if he would have used it on just the main army. Camels, what, 120 resources and don't have any upgrades. So I think you should be able to get five or six camels, right? I don't think I have the tooltip on. No, I don't have the tooltip because it was bugging out, so... But I'm going to guess five or six, but still gets rid of those that annoying raiding party, gets rid of the villagers, so why not? And there is going to be six. There is going to be six Petzabek. They're only 15 favor, which is wild. Should be called the Bombardillo Crocodillo. I like that. That's going to be... I'm going to start using that. Forward Migdal. Forward Migdal coming, and what I'd like to see is either another monument coming up or delete this monument to the villagers and slap it down next to it, just so this restoration can't really come in to also defend. And it might even, depending on where it is, might even put a stop to getting Sentinels down, but I assume Sentinels is going to come down very, very quickly. The Petzabek in the back. Look how much they're doing. Yeah, Sentinel's coming in, but this Sentinel's going to get hit straight away. Locust coming in. Restoration coming before the monument comes up. Not that we were going to see it, but Restoration does cancel the Locust Swarm pretty nicely. Achilles, yeah. So how much damage does he take from those? It looks like he is going to change onto that Nemean Lion that's going to go down pretty much instantly. Yeah, Ajax, the poor guy, getting taken down by these Crocodopoluses. Petzabeks. Absolute full send coming in. Petropolis trying to take down these siege towers. They do a decent job, but there's only one of them to take down three. And the town center will eventually go down, I reckon. And the Achilles, yeah, he's trying, but he didn't even manage to get on. And this is exactly what I was saying. The Chiron, look how much damage he takes just from 6 crocodiles shooting him. The poor guy. Yeah, Migdal Stronghold not even microed onto him because he doesn't even need it. Oof. So he does 0.25 damage, negative damage against him, but then has 2 divine damage. So absolutely brutal. Siege towers do all go down, but town center is down. Fortress coming down on the back. Double fortress is up to defend this gold mine also, and this gold mine is over here. So Bones can still defend. He's just got to have an answer to these guys, and honestly, I don't know what it is. When I play Greeks, I really do struggle against these. I mean, one option is going Mythic Age, but when can you do that? When can you afford that? If the full send comes, you just can't. So Minotaurs aren't really the option because they go down so quick. Just any myth units really struggle. You've just got to get your heroes on. You've got to like distract them. You've got to yeah. I don't know what the option is. I'm going to be honest. ISIS forward monuments are insane. Yeah, I think ISIS forward monuments, they are so good. There's no point putting one up now because the restoration has happened. Maybe if it gets later into the game when your restoration number 2, number 3 is coming, then you could probably put your forward monument down. But even just to get the healing on these guys, I mean, it is slow. We did see in the other game. I think I value that too much. The healing, but definitely the radius to stop the god powers is so strong. And in comes the Achilles, going to try to put these down, but they're underneath the Migdal. The camels also scare them away, and look how fast this Nemean Lion goes down. He gets one roar off, And then even the animation cancelled for these pets are back. Achilles trying to take these down. Ajax also. They just go down so quick. What can you... These are the counters, by the way. These little guys that are on the floor are the counters, yeah. And Bones says he doesn't want to play that anymore. I don't blame him. Oof. These are some nice abusive games. We like it.